Thank you so much, Rachel. I'm really excited to be here tonight, and I'm not going to do a lot of talking at the beginning because I really think that yoga sells itself. So I think yoga is something to experience and to feel, and so I think we'll probably just get on and start. And what I'll do on the way, I know I've had a couple of requests, so I'm definitely going to put in a few things for armpits and arm areas because I've had a few requests for tight areas there, but I'll just drop in on the way various things that I think, why I think yoga is so beneficial. And first thing is going to be the breathing. And what you might need for today's class though is a blanket. This is totally optional, but it just can be quite a nice way to start with the breath work, is to actually have a blanket handy or a towel. If you've got that, great. If you don't have that and you know it's going to take you 5 minutes to run off and go and get one, don't worry about it. But if you do have anything that looks a little bit like this, that will be a great start. And I'll just show you. And if you're not using a blanket, you're just going to lie flat on your back. We're going to have our knees bent. If you're using a towel or a blanket, you're going to do, we call it a concertina sort of fold. So you just take your blanket and fold it sort of backwards and forwards on itself. So you end up with a blanket that looks kind of long and thin, a little bit like this. And it's just going to support your spine. And the reason we do it, especially, I'll put it this way, especially if you're wanting to release out the chest a little bit, if you lay with your spine along the blanket, then your body can start to just relax over the blanket, which is how we're going to start. If you don't have a blanket, don't worry. You can just be lying flat on your back. So you're just going to lie, if you're using the blanket, have the blanket running along your spine. Come to lie on your back. Make sure your head is on your blanket. You can even just bunch your hands up underneath your blanket where your neck is, so it supports your neck. And then just take your arms back down by your side. And I want you to, so you're going to have your knees bent. And if you're not lying on the blanket, that's absolutely fine. If you're lying on the blanket, just let your shoulders sort of drop down towards the floor. They may not touch the floor. And then I just want you to take a breath in through the nose. And can you make a sigh? Make a sigh, make a sound like a So again, take a breath in through the nose. And then breathe out, make a sigh, make a sound. And one more like that. Sighing is a very nice way of releasing. So you might just be quite happy just to let go. On your next exhale. And then as long as you're not congested, start to breathe in and out through the nose. The nose is a nice way to breathe because it warms and filters your breath when you breathe in. If you're at all congested, then obviously use the mouth to breathe. So the most important thing is that you're going to be breathing. And just start to notice today, almost take a snapshot. What does it feel like to be you right now? So what does it feel like to be in your body tonight? So Wednesday evening, what does it feel like to be you? Are there any areas of your body that you're physically aware of that maybe don't feel that comfortable? Are there areas of your body that feel tired or tight? And in the same way, are there areas of your body that feel quite open and at ease? Or areas of the body that just feel neutral, like maybe your eyebrows? We're largely unaware of our eyebrows. So just noticing like a snapshot of what it feels like to be you. And just notice your breath. So can you notice what happens when you breathe in? Where do you feel pressure changes in your body when you breathe in? So where is the breath physically going in your body as you breathe in and as you breathe out? And can you start to lengthen your breath a little? It doesn't need to be really deep, so don't worry about your breath being deep, but can you just start to lengthen your breath in and lengthen your breath out? And then I just want you to notice your mind tonight. So is your mind really busy and buzzy? Are you having hundreds of thoughts, or are you just going round and round one thing on a loop? And is your mind swinging from the past to the future? So our mind's always looking out for dangers, so it's always on alert. So we just want to observe our mind and where it's going, and then come back to our breathing. So we just give ourselves a break from our thoughts. And feel the breath moving in and out of the body. And if you find it challenging staying with your breath, you could try this. Try counting your breath as you breathe in. And counting your breath as you breathe out. And just continue counting your breath on your inhale. Counting your breath on your exhale. And then see if you can start to shift your breath. So you breathe in and you breathe out to about the same count. Now, if you were to take your pulse while you were breathing, what you would discover is that when you breathe in, your pulse speeds up. Your heart rate speeds up. And when you breathe out, your heart rate slows down. Which is good news because we can use our breath to calm our nervous system or create a sense of balance. So for the beginning bit of class tonight, we're going to create a sense of balance. So we're going to try to breathe in and breathe out to the same count. And it doesn't matter what your count is, but if you're breathing in for 3, can you try to breathe out for 3? If you're breathing in for 4, can you breathe out for 4? Maybe your count's 2. It doesn't matter. Just trying to create a sense of balance. And also use the breath to bring us into the present moment. So we get a break from our mind. When we're worrying, we're projecting fearfully into an imaginary future, and we can't really cope with that because it doesn't exist. So we just want to keep bringing the awareness back to our breathing. And if you find the counting just totally distracting, just feel the breath. Feel the breath moving into the body. Feel your ribs expanding, a bit like when an umbrella opens. Feel the breath move down into your belly. Because when we're stressed and anxious, we aren't breathing fully. We're often breathing into our shoulders. So we just want to remind the breath to move all the way down into the belly. And just take a couple more breaths here. And you might even observe, what does it feel like now? Even just a couple of minutes of breathing, consciously breathing. Has that changed how you feel or how you felt when you first lay down on your mat or on the floor? So just noticing, maybe consciously breathing, how that makes you feel. And then if you'd straightened out your legs, just rebend your knees. If you're lying on your blanket, just roll off to one side, move your blanket out of the way. If you weren't lying on a blanket, just stay on your back. Once you come back down onto your back, just stretch your arms up to the sky and catch hold of opposite elbows. So it's like you make a little frame with your arms and just let your frame go over to the right and then let that frame go over to the left. So you catch hold of opposite elbow. You're holding your elbows. So Anne-Marie, see if you can catch hold of your elbows with your hands. So it's your elbows going to the left and then your elbows going over to the right. Yes, perfect. So just elbows going over from one side and then elbows going over to the other side. So just a little bit of movement. You might sort of feel a stretch in the outer arms or maybe around towards your shoulder blades. And just a couple more times going side to side. And then next time your elbows come back through center, you're going to pause here and just bring your feet in a little closer so you can feel your feet touching. And then as you breathe in, can you start to frame your face with your forearms and let your knees go wide. Now, if this is a strain on your armpits, you can rest your forearms on your forehead, or you might find you can slide them towards the crown of your head. And then as you exhale, bring your elbows and your knees up towards the ceiling. So inhale, frame your face and take your knees wide. So the soles of the feet might come towards each other. And then as you exhale, elbows to the ceiling and knees to the ceiling. So inhaling, take the forearms back. Again, we're not pushing into anything that feels like pain, but it might feel intense. You might get a big stretch as you exhale, elbows and knees to the ceiling. So this movement here is sort of opening up the armpits, but also opening up the groins. And these are really important areas in the body that we want to release. So we know that scar tissue can act like a gate for the lymphatic system, and it prevents the movement of fluid. So groins and armpits, if we can start to open up the groins and the armpits, will help with the movement of fluid in the body, but also the movement of nerve impulses. So if you find you get anything like peripheral neuropathy, this is just going to help free up the movement for the nerves. And so just one last time, breathing in as your elbows frame your face, your knees go wide, and then exhale as you bring the elbows and knees back up. And then stretch your arms up to the sky and interlace your fingers. And as you breathe in, stretch your arms towards your ears. So again, the key word here is towards. And then as you exhale, can you hug your right knee in towards you? And then inhale, right foot to the floor, stretch your arms back towards your ears. You can keep the hands interlaced. And then as you exhale, hug your left knee in towards you. Lovely. Inhale as you stretch the arms back towards your ears. And then exhale as you hug the right knee in towards you. Inhale, arms back towards your ears. And then exhale as you hug the left knee in towards you. And just do that again, but with the count of your breath. So breathe in, count your breath as your arms stretch back towards your ears. And then can you have the same count as you hug the right knee in towards you? You might feel a little bit more like an astronaut now. Moving slowly in space, breathing in, right foot to the floor, arms back towards your ears. And then exhale as you hug the left knee in. One more on each side to your count of breath. So don't worry if you're not staying in time with me. You're just keeping your breath smooth and fluid. And again, your awareness with your breathing rather than your thoughts. Sometimes we even have thoughts about the pose or our bodies as we move, and see if you can notice any judgment and just come back to your breathing. So we're not judging as we move. And then next time you hug your right knee in towards you, you're just going to stay here and circle your right foot. So some of the side effects can be joint stiffness. We really do want to release out the joints, starting small, with ankles and feet. So just giving the foot a little circle in one direction, and then just change the direction and circle the other way. Sometimes your feet don't even circle. They make funny sounds, or they make a funny shape. So again, observing that without judging, just coming back to your breathing. And then just hold on to the back of your leg, and then press your thigh a little bit away from you. So we're trying to get a bit more weight back into our pelvis and take it out of our lower back a little bit. As you breathe in, extend your leg towards the ceiling and point your toes. And then as you exhale, bend your knee and flex your foot. So you're inhaling, extending the leg, point your toes. And then exhale, bend your knee and flex your foot. So just a couple more times like that. So you're sort of flossing the muscles and trying to create a little bit of smooth movement. Again, so that the nerves that travel down through the muscles and down through they travel through the connective tissue. We're just sort of trying to free up, unglue little sticky bits of our bodies so that everything can flow freely. And just two more like that. So inhale as you extend the leg, point your toes. Exhale, bend the knee as you flex the foot. Inhale, extend the leg, point the toes. Exhale, bend the knee, flex the foot. And then inhale, extend your leg up. Let go with your hands. And can you just start to draw a circle with your leg? But can you keep everything else still? So you may start really small with your circle. Keep your left foot pushing down into the floor. And what you might explore is tummy muscles starting to work a little bit here. So, and if you get any sort of clicking sensations in the hips, that's absolutely fine. But if it feels uncomfortable, just make your movement smaller. Change the direction and just go the other way. And then just rebend your knee. And as you breathe in, hold on to the front of your right shin or your right knee with your right hand. And as you breathe in, separate the knees away from each other. So left foot staying on the floor. As you exhale, bring the legs back so they point up to the ceiling. And then inhale, keep your right knee bent, separate the knees. And then as you exhale, bring the knees back towards each other. So again, inhaling as you separate the knees. And then exhaling as you bring them back towards each other. One last time. Inhale as you separate the knees. Again, opening up the groins and the inner thighs. Exhale as you bring them back towards each other. And then either bring your right heel on top of your left knee or cross your right ankle over your left thigh. Take your arms down by your side for a moment and take a breath in. And as you exhale, press your left knee in towards you. And then inhale, lower your left foot back down to the mat. Exhale, press the left knee in towards you. And then inhale as you lower the foot back down to the mat. A couple more like that. So again, just exploring what this feels like. Last time. So you're just going to draw the knee in towards you and then lower the foot back down. And then draw the knee in towards you. And if it feels okay, take your arms and slide them through and catch hold of the back of your left leg. So your right arm goes through the gap in your legs to hold onto the back of the leg. If this doesn't feel like a comfortable option, you can always keep the foot on the floor. If you had anything with you, like your blanket or props, you could put them underneath your left foot. So that just slightly brings the legs in towards you. You could also just use your tummy muscles. If it really doesn't feel comfortable here, you can just press the knee in using your tummy muscles, but that can obviously sometimes feel a little bit more tiring. Check that you're still breathing. So as you breathe in, can you feel the breath into the upper back, the middle back, and the lower back? So you're really drawing the breath down into the lower lobes of the lungs. And just breathing in fully and breathing out fully here. And then just release, bring the foot back down to the floor. Hug your right knee back in towards you. Just extend your right leg up to the sky. Hold onto your right leg with your right hand. Left knee, draw it in and hold onto your left knee with your left hand. And then as you breathe in, separate the legs away from each other. They go into a sort of a V shape. And then as you exhale, bring them back towards each other. So inhale, separate the legs away from each other. And then as you exhale, bring them back towards each other. So inhale, so right leg is staying straight, left knee is staying bent, and then bring them back towards each other. And then see if you can hold that V shape. So right leg goes out to the right, left knee goes out to the left. See if you can breathe all the way down into your belly. Turn my light down to right. Okay, and then on your next exhale, you're just going to bring the legs back towards each other, bend both knees, and can you just draw a little circle with both knees bent? So just give both knees a little circle here. And then change the direction. So you might feel a nice sort of massage at the back of the body. Perfect. And then bring your right foot back down to the floor. Keep your left knee hugging in and now circle your left foot. So just give a little circle to your left foot. Again, noticing any sounds that the body makes and any judgment you might have, just observe that, come back to your breathing. Change the direction of the circles. Lovely, everyone. And then hold on to the back of the leg, press the leg away from you. And as you breathe in, extend the leg towards the ceiling and point your toes. And then as you exhale, bend your knee and flex your foot. So inhale, as you extend the leg, point your toes. And then as you exhale, bend your knee and flex your foot. Lovely. Inhale, extending the leg, point your toes. Exhale, bend the knee and flex the foot. And just two more like that. So gravity is also a really useful tool that we have to help move fluid. So when you extend the leg, all the arms above the heart, so the leg is going above the heart here, it really helps to move fluid back down the body. Now, next time you extend your leg up, let your arms come down by your side and just see if you can draw a little circle. So you're just moving your thigh bone around in your hip socket, you're sort of lubricating the joint. Again, if it doesn't feel comfortable, just make the movement smaller. Press down with your right foot and see if you can keep everything else still apart from your leg, and you might be aware of your tummy muscles suddenly working, so it can be quite a nice way to just start to engage the tummy muscles a little bit. And then change the direction of your circle, just circle the legs the other way. And then bend your left knee, hold on to the front of your left shin. And as you breathe in, separate the knees away from each other. The right foot's still on the floor. As you exhale, bring the knees to point to the ceiling. Inhale, separate the knees away from each other. And then as you exhale, bring the knees back towards each other. So just a couple more like that. Again, just sense that you're opening up the inner thigh and the groin area. So we have these big neurovascular bundles that run down through the groin that carry our blood, they carry lymph, and they carry the nerve endings. So again, just sort of see that you're kind of opening and closing, changing pressure to help pump through the body. Next time your knees come back towards each other, can you take your left heel on top of your right knee or cross your left ankle over your right thigh? Arms are going to come down by your side. Take a breath in. And then as you exhale, press the right knee in towards you. And then inhale as you lower the foot back down. And as you exhale, firm the belly as you draw the knee in. Inhale as you lower the foot back down. Exhale as you press the knee in towards you. Inhale, lower back down. And this time as you press the knee in towards you, you might stay here. You might reach through. So the left arm goes in the gap of the legs and catches hold of the back of your right leg. Or you might decide that doesn't feel comfortable for your chest and shoulders, in which case the foot can come to the floor, or you just put something underneath it to make it a little bit higher. I'm just folding up my blanket just for a little bit more height to help draw the knee in. And just check in with your breathing here. So can you feel your belly still moving when you're breathing in and breathing out? Or did you get distracted? The mind wanders off. And it's totally normal that the mind wanders off. So don't worry that the mind wanders. It's just doing what it's designed to do. So don't worry about that. Take one more full breath in here. Feel the breath down into the belly. So again, you're breathing in fully, getting the diaphragm, our main breathing muscle, working as we breathe in and breathe out. Lower your right foot back down to the mat. And then just extend your left leg up to the sky again. Hold on to the back of your left leg. Draw your right knee in towards you. Hold on to the front of your right shin. As you breathe in, separate the legs away from each other. And then as you exhale, bring them back towards each other. So inhale as you separate the legs. And then exhale as you bring them back towards each other. And just a couple more like that. So breathing in as you separate the legs. Exhale as you bring them back towards each other. Inhale as you separate the legs. Exhale as you bring them back towards each other. And next time you separate the legs, just pause here. See if you can get the breath all the way down into your lower belly. So do you feel your lower belly slightly rise when you breathe in? And then your lower belly fall as you breathe out. And then as you exhale, bring the knees back towards each other. And then rebend your left knee, bring the feet down to the floor. Just widen your feet for a moment to the edges of the mat. Slide your arms a little bit away from your body. And then take a breath in, and as you exhale, let your knees drop over to the right. Roll across the back of the head and look to the left. Take a breath in, no movement. As you exhale, bring your knees up and take your knees to the left as you roll across the back of the head and you look to the right. Take a breath in here, no movement. And then as you exhale, bring your knees up, take your knees to the right, roll across the back of the head, gaze to the left. Take a full breath in. So again, really feeling the body expand when you breathe in. And as you exhale, change sides. So knees go to the left and you look to the right. We'll do one more to each side. So moving on your exhale, knees are going to go to the right, you look to the left. Take a breath in. And then as you exhale, your knees are going to go to the left and you're going to gaze to the right. Final one. Love you, everyone. And then as you exhale, bring your knees back to center. Walk your feet back in. So if you have a side of the body that's more comfortable for you to roll onto, you're going to roll to the most comfortable side, or the one that keeps the strongest arm on top. And as you roll onto one side, you're just going to push down with your top hand. Let your head be the last thing to come up. And we're going to come up to all fours. So you might want to use blanket or padding for your knees. You might be on a really carpeted floor and you're fine on your knees. But if you have any aggravations with your knees, just make a little fold in your blanket so you can put your knees on your blanket. And then just come onto all fours. And just as you come onto all fours, just rock your hips a little side to side. So just get a little bit of movement into the hips. You might then start to make some little circles. And I would always say, don't worry about what they look like. Just tune in. And you can even close your eyes and just notice when you circle, are there some tight areas? And just sort of, ease into those tight areas. And then if you're making circles, just change the direction. Go the other way with your circles. So you're just sort of making the circles now in the opposite direction. And then come back to center. So if you look at your hands are sort of in line with each other. Shoulders are slightly behind your wrist. That should make it a little easier on your wrist. Slide your right hand a little further forward. So your right hand is slightly further forward of your left hand. And then take a breath in. And as you exhale, bend your left elbow and keep your right hand glued to the mat as you pull back. So you should be getting more stretch on that right side of the body. Maybe right armpit, maybe right shoulder blade. You're not pulling back so far that you're in pain. And if it doesn't feel comfortable on your knees, you can always walk your knees back a little bit. And then as you breathe in, you're going to come all the way back up. And as you exhale, keep your right hand stuck to the mat. As you pull back, bend your left elbow. So it feels like you're trying to draw to the end of your mat rather than trying to get down to the floor. Breathe in and come all the way back up. And if this is too intense, bring your hand in closer. If you want a bit more stretch, slide the hand a little further away. And again, as you exhale, bend your left elbow, draw your bottom back. And then 2 more like that. Inhale as you come back up to all fours. And then as you exhale, bend your left elbow, draw the bottom back. Inhale as you come all the way back up. And then as you exhale, draw the bottom back. And then inhale as you come back up to all fours, slide your right hand back alongside your left hand. And then we're just going to change sides. So slide your left hand forward and then take a breath in. And as you exhale, bend your right elbow, keep your left arm straight and your left hand glued to the mat as you draw back. So that gives you that stretch around maybe the outer edge of your armpit, the shoulder blade area. Breathe in as you come back up to all fours. And then as you exhale, bend your right elbow as you draw back. So again, we're not pushing into pain. We're just trying to find maybe a stretch, but no pain. Inhale as you come back up. And again, if it's too much, slide the hand in closer. If you want more stretch, slide it a little further away. Bending right elbow as you draw back. Inhale as you come back up to all fours. So just 2 more like that. So you're in total charge of how much stretch you're getting. You maybe make the movement smaller, or you bring the hand in closer, or you make the movement bigger. You draw back a little further, keeping the hand glued to the mat so you get this traction on this left side of the body. And then as you breathe in, come all the way back up to all fours, walk your hands back in. And then I just want you to tuck your toes under and walk your hands in towards your knees. So you're getting a little bit of a foot stretch. So we just want to release out the feet a little bit. What often happens here is that your heels splay away from each other. So can you hug your heels in towards each other? And you might just be fine with your hands on the floor. Some of you might walk your hands onto your thighs, so you're actually sitting on your heels. And if you're like, there's no way that's happening for me, keep your hands on the floor. So you've got a couple of choices on what you're doing here. Breathe in fully and breathing out fully. So as long as you're staying with the breath, you're doing yoga. So just stay with the breath. Feel the breath moving in and out of the body, maybe even counting your breath if that helps you to stay more present. And then bring your hands back down to the floor, untuck your toes and maybe just give the fronts of your feet a little pat. Obviously be mindful whatever surface you're on. And then can you just walk your hands a little bit over to the left? And then take a breath in here. And as you exhale, same thing. You're just going to draw your bottom back. It's going to go slightly to the right. So you're going to get more of a stretch on the right side of your body. And then inhale as you come back up to all fours. And as you exhale, draw back. So your ears might end up in line with your arms as you draw back. We're just going to continue 3 more like that. So inhale as you come back up. If you want more of a stretch, walk your right hand a little further forward. So again, you might be bending left elbow if you stretch your right arm forward. Inhale as you come back up. You can also try placing your right hand on top of your left hand and just see what that feels like as you draw back. And does one of those give you a better stretch on the right side? So just again, find the place with that right hand where you feel like you're getting a good stretch but no pain. And then come all the way back up. Walk your hands back through center, and then we're just going to take the hands over to the right. And then take a breath in, and as you exhale, draw your bottom back. It feels like it's going to the left, so you're now getting more of a stretch on the left side, left rib cage. Inhale as you come all the way back up. And then exhale as you draw back. Inhale as you come back up. So again, you can try a couple of variations. You can slide the left hand a little further forward to see what that feels like. That's going to be a bit more intense. Come all the way back up. You could take left hand on top of right hand and just see what that feels like. Does that change your stretch? And then for your last one, take the hand where you felt the best stretch. So again, no pain, but you feel like you're kind of easing out. And then come all the way back up. Walk your hands back into center, and then walk your hands in towards your knees and just come up for a moment to high kneeling position. Turn your palms forward, and as you breathe in, float your arms up in line with your shoulders. And then as you exhale, drop your left hand down and stretch your right arm up. Inhale, come back through center. And then can you drop right hand down as you stretch your left arm up? Inhale, come back through center, and then just bend your elbows for a moment. Press your forearms back. Try to grow a little taller, and as you exhale, just take a little rotation to the right. Inhale, come back through center. Now take a little rotation to the left. And then inhale, come back through center. Exhale as you lower your arms down. We'll do that whole thing one more time. So turn the palms forward, breathe in as you float your arms up. And then as you exhale, right hand drops down, stretch your left arm up. Inhale as you come back through center. And then exhale, drop left hand down as you stretch right arm up. Inhale as you come back through center. And then bend the elbows. Make a goalpost shape, slightly press your forearms back and push up into the crown of your head. And then as you exhale, little rotation to the right. Inhale, come back through center. And then exhale, little rotation to the left. And then inhale, come back through center. Exhale, lower your arms down. Now we're going to find a way to come to stand. So if you know you need more support, you might hold onto a chair or a wall. You're just going to step your right foot forward. Take your hands on top of your right thigh. Tuck your back toes under and see if you can push off your back foot so you start to step forward into a chair. And this might be a little bit challenged, but see if you can bring your forearms down onto your thighs. If that doesn't work, take your hands onto your thighs instead. So it's like you're sitting into an imaginary chair and quite quickly your legs will start to work. So can you stay with that smooth and fluid, even breath? The worst that can happen is you get stronger legs. And when muscles are tugging on bone, they're building bone. So they're stimulating osteoblasts. They help build those, build the bone. Take one more full breath in here. So you're staying steady and calm, even if your legs don't feel at all steady and calm. And then walk your hands up onto your thighs. Push down with your hands. Use your leg strength to bring you all the way up to stand. Let me just quickly adjust my camera so you can still see. And then interlace your fingers again, like we did earlier. And as you breathe in, can you lift your heels, come onto the balls of the feet as you sweep your arms up. And then as you exhale, can you lower your heels and lower your arms back down? So as you breathe in, come onto the balls of the feet, lift the heels. And then as you exhale, lower the heels and lower the arms back down. So 3 more. Come back to the count of your breath. So just counting your breath as you breathe in. And then count your breath as you breathe out. So you might even slow it down. Now your calf muscles are really strong muscles because they can lift the entire body weight up. And they act like a little mini heart. So they pump blood and fluid back up towards your heart. So it really helps to stimulate the lymphatic system. As you lower your arms down, can you take your hands behind you? Now, for some of us, interlacing the fingers behind us doesn't really feel comfortable. You might hook thumbs, or you might just sort of reach back with your arms if you really feel that catching hold of something doesn't work for you. And then can you just draw down with your knuckles, or if you're hooking your thumbs, you're just drawing down. We're trying not to let the shoulders get pushed forward. You might then find you can take the hands back a little bit behind you without your shoulders getting pushed forward. So you start to get a little opening across your chest. And then can you just bend your knees and sit back into an imaginary chair? And then press and rise, come up to stand, bring your hands closer to your bottom. So bend your knees. As you bend your knees, can you take the arms a little bit away from your body? And then can you press and rise, come up to stand, hands come back to your bottom. One last time here. So press the hands away from you. And then press and rise as you come all the way up to stand. And then if you've still got your blanket on your mat like me, you can just move your blanket out of the way. And then come to the front of your mat and just take your hands on top of your head for a moment. So you just got your hands resting on your head. Press your head up into your hands. So you feel like you're trying to grow nice and tall. And then can you slide your hands maybe to the back of your head and maybe slide them down so you feel your occipital ridge, which is where your neck meets your skull. And just press your elbows out wide and try to lift your chest up towards the ceiling. And then as you exhale, squeeze your elbows in and drop your chin towards your chest. So inhale, take the elbows out wide, lift the chest. And then as you exhale, elbows come towards each other, drop your chin in towards your chest. Just 2 more like that. So inhale, elbows wide as you lift your chest. And then exhale, elbows towards each other as you drop your chin down in towards your chest. Last time. Inhale, elbows wide, lift the chest. And then exhale, elbows towards each other, drop your chin in towards your chest. And then inhale, take the elbows wide, and then lower the arms back down by your side. Have a look at your feet. So if you're standing at the front of the mat, feet are about hip distance apart. Keep your right foot forward and just step your left foot back. And just check you're on a sort of train tracks. So you're not got your feet in a line like a tightrope. It's a little bit more challenging to balance. And then as you bend your front knee, reach your arms forward and up. So if your arms need more support, exhale as you lower down, you're going to interlace your fingers. So you're interlacing the fingers instead. So breathing in, float the arms up as you bend your front knee. And then as you exhale, you're lowering the arms down as you straighten the front leg. So bend the front knee and breathe in as you sweep the arms up. And then exhaling as you lower the arms back down. So just two more like that. Inhale fully. And exhale fully. Lovely, everyone. And then breathing in fully. And then breathing out fully. Now, next time you bend your front knee, you're also going to bend your elbows and make a goalpost shape with your arms. Take a breath in here and just press your elbows back a little bit. So again, you feel the top of your chest opening, but not your ribs poking out. So you do want to keep the ribs softening down. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, squeeze the forearms towards each other. And then inhale as you open up the chest. And then exhale as you squeeze the forearms towards each other. Lovely. Inhale as you open the chest. Exhale, forearms towards each other. Inhale as you open. And then exhale as you close. Now this time you're going to open up the chest and then just stretch the arms out wide for a moment. Can you take your right arm on top of your left and give yourself a big hug? Because that's never a bad thing, a big hug. So give yourself a big squeeze, just to remind yourself how magical you are. And you could stay here, or you might bring your backs of your hands or your palms towards each other. That may not work. You might be like, I'm better just as I was. Keep your arms as they are, straighten your front leg, and you're just going to step up to the front of your mat. I'm just stepping back so you can still see me. And then just see if you can draw some little circles with your elbows. So you might notice your shoulder blades making sounds. You might have an internal orchestra. So stay with your breath so you don't get distracted by your thoughts. Change the direction of your circles. If this really isn't working for anyone, you can just squeeze the forearms towards each other like this and draw circles with your elbows like that. Another nice option here. Just get a little bit of movement around the sort of shoulder blade area and the back of that sort of armpit. And then just release your arms back down by your side. Shrug your shoulders up towards your ears. And then just drop your shoulders away from the ears. So we've got all these lovely lymph vessels and lymph nodes in our neck. So squish them for a moment. Bring your shoulders to your ears and then drop your shoulders away from your ears. It's also quite good to remind our shoulders where we want them to be. One last time, shrug your shoulders to your ears. And then drop your shoulders away from your ears. Okay, and then we're just going to change sides. So now you're going to keep your left foot forward and step your right foot back. And either interlacing the fingers. So if you know taking your arms forward and up, you need a bit of support, you just interlace the fingers. Bend your front knee, breathe in as you sweep the arms forward and up. And then exhale as you lower the arms back down. So think of this as a breathing exercise. You're just breathing in fully. What was your count? Can you breathe out to the same count? And don't worry if you're slower or faster than me. You're just staying with your breath. Lovely, everyone. So last time, you're going to bend the front knee, breathe in as the arms come up, and then exhale as you lower the arms down. Now this time as you bend your knee, reach your arms up and make a fist. Sorry, I know you've lost my hands, but make a fist with your hands. Pull something heavy down from the ceiling and then just twinkle your fingers as you release. Breathe in, reach your arms up, make a fist, pull something heavy down. So you're trying to get your back working and then release your hands. Inhale, reach the arms up and make a fist. So now you're pumping your hands. In the same way that when we release feet and calves, you're helping move fluid down through the body. So your muscles are contracting and then releasing, and this acts like an internal pump. So one last time, make a fist, and then pull something heavy down from the ceiling. Stretch your arms out, and just for a moment, make a stop sign with your hands, so you get maybe a stretch into the forearms, maybe the wrist areas. You make that stop sign, press your arms back a little bit, just notice what that feels like. And now cross your left arm on top of your right. Give yourself a big squeeze. Let's give yourself a big load of love. And then you can start to straighten your front leg. You might keep the arms like this, or you might bring the backs of the hands towards each other. You're going to step up to the front of your mat and then make those little circles. So again, and if you feel neither of those options work well, squeeze your forearms towards each other and draw circles like this with your elbows instead. So you've always got that as another option. Lovely, everybody. Change the direction of your circles. And then you're just going to release the arms down. One final thing we're going to do standing. So we're just going to take a balance. So when you balance on one leg, double your body weight goes down through that leg. And this is really helpful for building our bone strength, because bone responds to any force being applied to it. So it's good for our bone strength to be balancing. So if you need wall or anything, please feel free to grab a wall, or stand close to a wall if you think you might fall and you just want that support. Weight's going to go into your right foot, and just see if you can just pick up your left knee at all. Doesn't matter how high. Some of you might lift it high, some of you might keep it really close to the floor. Without turning your hips to the left, can you just turn your knee out? So you haven't moved your hips. In fact, if you had lights on your hips, they'd still be pointing forward. And then can you rest your foot either above your knee or below your knee, or maybe you just keep your heel lifted. Now, sometimes what happens here is what I call bus stop pose. It's like you kind of like when you're hanging out waiting for a bus, you sit in the right hip. Now, this isn't a joint with much space, so you want to hug in, hug the leg and the foot together like you want to grow taller. You're like a little tube of toothpaste, and you need to squeeze the toothpaste out the crown of your head. And then maybe just for a moment, bring your hands into prayer position and just notice what this hand gesture feels like. It's quite a sort of peaceful hand gesture. Just notice that. So again, we're not sitting in the hip, we're hugging the legs together, the foot and the leg hug together. Take one more full breath in. Know that you're stimulating osteoblasts. You're building bone strength when you balance. And then just release, bring the foot back down. If you feel like you need to give your legs a little shake, sometimes that's nice just to release out the legs. And then we're just going to change sides. So you're going to bring the weight into your left foot. So again, with your hands on your hips, just to check your hips don't move, can you just turn your knee out? And then maybe you bring the foot to your shin, maybe you keep it just the heel lifted, or some of you might bring it to above the knee. Again, check, have you sort of collapsed into your hips so you're not in that bus stop position. Hug the legs together. You're this tube of toothpaste, you need to just hug everything in so the toothpaste can come out through the crown of your head. Then just notice what it feels like if you bring your hands into prayer position. Can you still breathe in and breathe out fully? So you can do these poses while you're brushing your teeth. You can do a minute on one side and a minute on the other, and that's your teeth done. And your bones strengthened twice a day. Take one more full breath in. Lovely. And then you're just going to release. Release the arms down, release out the leg, give the legs a little shake. So I'm going to give you an option or a couple of options on how you might like to finish the class today. If you come into any pose where your legs are slightly elevated, that might mean putting your calves on your sofa. It might mean taking your legs up the wall, which I'll show you now. That's quite nice for the lymphatic system to help move fluid back down through the body. It's quite calming as well. You might decide, I don't want to do that. I just want to lie down. You can lie down with your blanket, come into any relaxation position. Could also be lying on your sides if you know you prefer lying on your side. I'll show you the two leg elevated options. So one of them could be with legs over a chair or a sofa, and that would look a little bit like this. So your shins would rest on the seat of your chair and your back would be down on the floor, and this is super calming and nice. It's a really nice pose. Legs up the wall is a little bit more challenging if your hamstrings are tight. So if you know your hamstrings are super tight, that may be better with the chair version. If you do want to try getting the legs up the wall, I would sit as close as you can to the wall to begin with. So you're already snugged right up against the wall, and then all you need to do, I say all because it's not the easiest thing, is get the legs up the wall. So your bottom is pretty much almost touching the wall, and then arms can be down by your side. So legs on a chair, legs up the wall, or you found any comfortable position, could just be lying flat on your back. And if you can sometimes get cold when you come down into relaxation poses. So you might want to put the blanket over you or put your socks back on or anything that's just going to support you. And all I'm going to do is just guide you through areas of your body, so you don't need to move anything. You can just close your eyes and just listen to the guidance. And either you might let your awareness rest at areas of your body. You might even mentally repeat the areas that I mentioned. So just bring the awareness down to the soles of your feet. And can you soften the soles of your feet? Can you soften your ankles, your calves, your shins, the backs of the knees, the quadriceps and the hamstrings? And can you allow the groins to soften and the belly to soften, the lower back, the middle back, and the upper back? And just sense your chest just softening down, like the weight of the front of the body softens to the back of the body. Notice the weight of your arms, biceps, triceps, forearms. And just let the awareness rest in the palms of your hands. Bring your awareness to the tips of the thumbs, index fingers, middle fingers, ring fingers, and little fingers. Notice the space at the back of your neck. And then just bring your awareness inside your jaw. Can you soften the lower jaw, gums, and teeth? Allow your tongue to thicken and broaden. And then soften your upper jaw, gums, and teeth. Feel the breath just gently caressing your nostrils. Allow the eyes to soften. And feel the weight of your eyelids. So it's like your eyelids feel heavy and they just help the eyes just soften down into the head. And allow the skin across the forehead to broaden and soften. And just bring your awareness to your skin. Can you feel maybe the temperature of the room on your skin? Can you feel your clothing or the floor against your skin? And just sensing that all the way around the body, imagining your body would be bathed in light. Just where your skin meets your clothing, the body is bathed in light. And you might see that light as a particular color, or maybe you sense it's golden or white. And that light is nourishing and protecting. And as you breathe in, you start to draw that light that's all the way around your skin and draw it into your heart. So as you breathe in, you're drawing in that light, and you can say to yourself, I am protected by the light, and I am nourished by the light. Maybe even sense your heart becoming full with light, the center of the chest becoming full and expansive, this sort of vital energy, this light protecting and nourishing you. And now are there areas of your body tonight that need a little bit more of that love, that nourishment, that protection? So as you breathe out, you can send this love from your heart somewhere else in the body. Maybe you feel like the whole of the body needs to receive this light, this love, nourished by the light and protected by the light. So just sending that light anywhere tonight that you feel needs more TLC, more love, more nourishment. Now I'm leaving time for some questions at the end. So if you want to stay here longer, please do. You could stay here and you could switch off your computer if you've got yourself super comfortable and this is where you would like to stay. If you're sticking with the time frame of the workshop or you're ready to come out and you might have questions to ask, then you can just start to bring a little bit of movement back. So just moving slowly. So moving, maybe wriggling fingers and wriggling toes. Again, option to stay. So please don't feel you have to come out right now. And as you start to wriggle fingers and toes, just take a deeper breath in and a deeper breath out. And just check in, what does it feel like to be you right now? So remember at the beginning of the class, we took a sort of mental snapshot of our physical body. We noticed our breath, we noticed our mind. So if you come back now to the breath, come back now to your physical body. Notice your mind. Just notice, has anything changed or shifted from when we first started? And then when you're ready, put a bend in your knees. And you're just going to roll to one side and just taking your time. And again, this is optional. You might decide you want to stay where you are. It's going to roll to one side. And then just make your way to come up to sit. And as you come up to sit, just keep the eyes closed just for a moment. Just again, just checking in when you breathe in and when you breathe out. What are the effects of your yoga practice tonight? In your yoga laboratory for one, what does it feel like? And then just bring your hands into a prayer position and just take a moment tonight to give thanks. Sometimes that's more challenging than others to find something we feel grateful for. So maybe the gift of breath. Maybe there's something else tonight you feel grateful for. And may our yoga grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. And so with a quieter mind and an open heart, namaste. So thank you.